Welcome back, everyone. This is the FloTrack podcast. I am Kevin. He is Gordon. The email address, flotrackpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're watching live on YouTube, you can see we're sponsored this week by Gooder, the sunglasses that Gordon is wearing right now.
That's right.
That's not the tagline. Gooder, the glasses that Gordon is wearing right now. That's not the tagline, but it is.
That would be a good tag.
It is accurate.
We should workshop it. I think they could increase their sales by at least a percent point here or there.
Yeah.
Up or down. Depends.
They decided to go something a little catchier, but
I could be a trendsetter.
Yeah. Are you going to wear them the whole show?
No, just for the ad read.
Okay. Well, the show is brought to you by Gooder Sunglasses, purveyors of sunglasses made for anyone who enjoys putting your body through hell and back. They have all different types. Gordon, for sprints, 5K, marathon, ultras, trail, track, all for $25 or $35. The website is gooder.com, Goodr.com. $25 active sunglasses for anyone. They're fun, they're fashionable, they're functional, and everyone can afford them. No slip, no bounce, all polarized, and as you can tell from Gordon wearing them right now, all fun.
Yes, so much fun. You know what the problem with sunglasses are? They're one, expensive. They're ugly, unless they're on my face, of course. And they're over-engineered. But this is the thing about the Gooder solution. They're affordable, $25 or $35. They're stylish, and they're all performance. Free shipping if you spend $50 or more. 30-day free returns, 1-year warranty, 100% carbon neutral, 1% for the planet. Don't know what that means, but it's 1%, and it's going towards the planet. Find your pair at Goodr.com. That's Goodr.com. People think there's an E, but there is no E.
No.
Between D and R.
Go right from the D to the R.
Skip the E.
Yep.
Right to the R.com.
E is not necessary.
That should be their slogan. Skip the. Okay.
Okay. It's the slogan is the glasses that Gordon is wearing.
Yes.
I think that's what we've already decided. Thanks to Gooder for sponsoring the pod. Oh wow, that's nice.
You cannot see them in the picture though because they're black.
Somebody can see them down there.
Yes.
Listen, we got some comments coming in already. Cameron, cross-country time. Kyle, cross-country time. Everybody is excited.
It is cross-country time.
About conference cross-country. But before we do that, a couple points of business. One, Tampa Eagle. Is it time for a subpod? Yes. Subpod's coming next week.
Yes.
And we're excited to do it. It'll be our first subpod from the studio. Is that correct?
I think it would be.
We haven't done one here before. So this is the first one from the studio, so you'll get the benefit of the great production quality that takes place in the studio. Maybe an update on Gordon's shirts will be in there, and we'll dig into some nerdy track stuff as well too.
Gordon what?
Shirts.
What do you mean Gordon shirts?
You told the story last time of why you threw away all your shirts.
Oh yeah.
I want to keep that thread going. It's the tie that binds.
It keeps on. It's a roller coaster, I'll tell you that.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, you can tune in. Okay, the other thing we want to get to before conference cross-country stuff, I want to do one news item. Will you allow me one news item,
yes,
Mr. Mack?
Just once.
Once and only once.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming for this breaking news alert.
It's not breaking news. Duke did not lose. This is not breaking news. Craig Engels is leaving the Union Athletics Club and Pete Julian. He's been with Julian since he graduated and left Ole Miss. He's going back to his college coach, Ryan Vanhoy, who's not at Ole Miss anymore. He's down at Cal Poly. This is a latest bit of news in Engels' career. I feel like it's been pretty eventful the last couple of years. There was rumors and some comments after the Olympic trials in 2021 that he was perhaps thinking of retiring and just calling it a day. Came back last year, was hurt, never really got going, ran a 3:37 in the 1500 after the World Championships had already ended. It was in September, so it ended up being on a bit of a different schedule. But posted on Instagram, said, the reasoning for this is just a change of scenery. He says, my goal is to be the best American miler, enjoy all the adventure along the way. I think a change for me was necessary for this to be possible. Thanks his coach, thanks Donovan Brazier, Eric Jenkins, et cetera, et cetera. But your thoughts on Engels' move?
Yeah, well, again, looking back at his 2022 year, he was very active indoor season. He had one notable performance I would say was his 146-800, which he did in mid-February. But then when it came to championship or marquee type races, Millrose Games, he ran 3:43. No, excuse me, ran 4:01 in the mile, 3:43 split. 4:01 in the mile, finishing 10th in the Millrose Games mile. Then he goes to U.S. Champs indoors, runs 3:41, gets 7th, way out of top 2 contention. So then he shuts down his season for a little bit, puts it on pause, and then comes back, runs a random 800 in May, skips USA's. Obviously, he's not at Worlds. Then, he ends his season with, a 3:37, 1500 in Berlin.
Yeah.
Which, here's the thing. 3:37, well, that's actually not that bad. But, 3:37 is not what it's going to take anymore to be a finalist.
Yeah.
Or make a team.
Sure.
Because a lot of people run 3:37. You look at the college list, you see a lot of 3:37s on that list.
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 years ago, it was a bunch of 3:39s. Now it's a bunch of 3:37s. So if you really want to separate yourself, you need to be a consistent 3:35 or better type runner. So even though he's showing he still can get around the track 4 times in an elite time, it's not the standard that he has for himself, which is trying to make teams.
Yeah. I mean, Engels is interesting. Obviously, he marches to the beat of his own drum. We know that. I think Pete Julian knew that. You got to give him an extra bit of latitude when you're dealing with someone like Engels, and it was working. I mean, 2016 narrowly misses the team in both the 8 and the 15. Remember when he was still at Ole Miss, 4th and 5th in those races. Then 2017, he just misses the team again. Finally gets on the team in 2019, makes the final. So you're thinking, all right, here's the momentum. It's gonna turn into a Olympic berth. Olympics get postponed. Then he gets 4th again at the Olympic trials. So he's made a team, but he has not made an Olympic team yet. And I think this is him trying to mount one last push to get there. It's crazy how fast a career goes. You go from your too early cycle, which was 2016 for him, to your peak cycle, which was 2021, to the one last shot cycle now, which is 2024.
He'll be 30 at the 2024 trials.
Right, and that's how fast it goes. You do not get that many chances to make Olympic teams. Now, World Championship teams are great as well, but everybody, if you ask them if you could choose between the two, you'd choose to make the Olympics.
Would you choose 5 World Championships teams versus 1 Olympic team?
No, I wouldn't. Not me personally, but if you're making money and communicating with the public, saying Olympian is worth more than 5, yes. But me personally, knowing what I know about track, no, I'd say obviously the person who had the 5 World Championship teams is better than the Olympic team. But I just think with Engels, the 1500 right now is so filled with parity in the
That's
U.S.
true.
I think he has a shot still, and this makes sense. Now, first step is he's got to get healthy. So a lot of times we see this move, it makes sense to go back to the college coach. He obviously knows Engels very well. That makes sense too, because Engels being the big personality that he is, you have a harder time believing it would work if they were with a brand new coach who didn't know him at all. I'm assuming he'll be around the college team, which will give him a little bit of excitement. He'll be out in California. He had training partners, obviously running with Donovan and stuff, but Donovan's an 800-meter guy. Eric Jenkins did the longer stuff, right? There was no natural, this guy is my training partner day in and day out. I think he's going to be fine. I think this is a good opportunity for him to hit reset. I mean, who do you feel better about? Nagoose, Hawker,
Tier.
Centro, Tier? Yeah, I guess you'd say Tier.
Jonathan Davis?
John Davis was tearing it up last year, but there's no sure things for the team next year except maybe Cooper Tier. But even Cooper Tier, he might just decide to run the 5,000 too.
It's true. Yeah, so Craig Engels had a 21st best time in the U.S. in the 1500.
Yeah.
Can you name the person who was just ahead of him? Actually, no. Can you name the person who was just behind him?
Wow, you switched that.
Yes.
You're going to need to give me some time because I had already
He
in
ran
my head.
3:37.43, April 15th at Mount Sac. College kid.
Oh.
3:37.43. Not at Mount Sac, at Brian Clay.
This is U.S.?
Yes.
College kid. I don't know.
I'm doing this for transition purposes. His name, Ryan Shoppy.
Oh.
Oklahoma State.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of Oklahoma State, they ran this weekend. Or they ran just now.
Okay, we weren't ready to transition.
Why weren't we ready? What else do you want to...
Because you didn't answer the question.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to go into transition mode. I was like, this is great. See, Oklahoma State athlete right next to Craig Engels. Let's go into Big 12 conference. Did I screw it up? Should we start the podcast over?
No, it's great.
Should we start the clip over?
Keep going.
Reset the clip.
Clip's ruined. Go ahead.
Clip ruined.
Do you think Engels can make another team?
I do not.
I do.
You really do?
I do.
Gun to your head, you think he can make another team?
I think he can because of the reasons we just mentioned. There's no clear favorite to take one of those spots except for Tier.
Naguse.
Everybody else has question marks around them.
Okay, hold on.
Naguse's progression hasn't exactly been a straight line.
He just ran 333 in September.
Yeah. I know.
He's good.
I know he's good. They're all good, but
he's going to make the team.
This isn't like
Cole Hawker almost got a medal at the Olympics.
Yeah, that was a couple years ago now. Went out in the first round.
Yeah, he was hurt.
I know. Engels was hurt last year too. I think he's got a shot. You're forgetting that the U.S. right now, men's 1500, is still wide open. And even in a year where there's a lot of sure things and a lot of locks, it's a very unpredictable event.
Okay.
And experience pays. How old is he? He's only 28, you said? I think he's got a shot.
Okay, I'll give you this. I'm gonna go through the 20 people who ran faster than him.
Yeah.
And I'll say whether or not I can see a world where Craig Engels beats that person. Morgan Beatlescombe, yes. I see a world where Craig beats him. Colby Alexander, yes. I see a world where Craig beats him. Sean McGorty, yes.
You did top 20 here just to...
Well, Craig Engels is 21st. So I'm saying everyone that ran faster than him.
Yeah.
All right. Sean McGorty, yes. I see he can beat him. Hobbs Kessler, yes. I can see Engels beating Kessler. Reed Brown, yes. Abdi Hamanur, yes. Christian Noble, yes. Paul Ryan, yes. Eric Holt, yes. Josh Thompson, yeah. I could see Craig Engels beating Josh Thompson.
Yeah.
Grant Fisher, he's not going to be in it, so it doesn't matter. Dave Ribich, yes. Johnny Gregoric, yes. So you're looking good with this argument, but this is where your argument loses steam.
Didn't Gregoric make the team last year? Okay.
But it was like I finished like 7th and I'm on the team.
Okay.
Cole Hawker, no. I do not see a world where Craig Engels beats Cole Hawker.
Close.
Cietti, yes. I see a world where he beats Cietti. Prakel, yes. Andrew Hunter, yes. Tier, I do not see a world where he beats Tier. Jonathan Davis, I don't see a world where he beats Jonathan. I don't see a world where he beats Jonathan Davis.
John Davis had a great season last year, but let's not turn him into 20.
He got second at he got second in the trials and followed up with a 333.
Yeah. That's great.
Okay.
But let's not talk about him being an unstoppable force.
Fine.
He didn't turn into Jakob Ingebrigtsen.
Okay, yes. Fine. I see a world.
So you've named 3 people.
And then Naguse. He does not beat Naguse.
Okay.
I named 3 people. How many people make a team?
I know, but that's who you can see beating him. He just needs to upset him. You know what place Naguse got last year at trials? 11th. Upsets happen too. Do you think he can make the final? Let me just say that. Do you think he can make a final USA's, Engels?
Yes.
Yeah. And then the cliche...
But they're changing. There's a difference between making a final and getting top 3.
But the cliche fits in the 1500.
Everyone makes a final.
The cliche fits in the 1500, which is that you make the final, anything can happen.
I just think there's two...
You didn't have
there's
John
3
Davis
people
getting second. They didn't have Gregoric making the team last year. The men's 1500 right now is vulnerable. You didn't even mention Centro. See, a better argument would have been Centro's going to come back and be motivated to beat his old teammate.
Okay, then there you go.
But you didn't make that argument. I did. I made that argument for you.
We should transfer to college now.
No, I think it's interesting to debate. I think a lot of this depends on what event Tier does and the status of Hawker. If Hawker gets back to 2021 Hawker,
which he will,
you're right, then that spot is taken. But there's no guarantees he's going to do that just because he did it once.
There's more of a guarantee he's going to do that than Craig Engels gets back to 2017 Engels. What was the year he was really good? 17, 18?
Well, 19 he made the team.
19.
I mean, he's one of those people where if COVID doesn't push the Olympics back.
Why are we talking about COVID? COVID's over.
I'm just saying you're acting like it was a decade ago when the guy was good. He's been good recently.
I never said that. I never said it was a decade ago. I've only been watching a sport for a decade.
That's right. All right. We can move on. You want to get to cross country.
Yeah, well,
Tampa Eagle says, Kevin, you're rarely wrong, but you're wrong about Craig.
Oh.
All right, we'll see. Let me flip this around on you then. Let me ask this question.
Flip away.
I'm going to ask you this question. Do you think, this is an impossible question to answer because you do not know
I will answer
the training methods of what he was doing with Julian or what he's going to do with Vanhoy. Do you think his chances increase, decrease, or stay the same by changing groups, changing coaches?
Stay the same. At the end of the day, mile repeats, 1Ks, 800s, quarter. Everyone kind of does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We want to act like it's like night and day. I mean,
but you got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy.
Health
you got to be
thing.
mentally sharp on the day. Those two things.
And there's a mental component. Maybe he'll feel more comfortable because he feels like he's going back to his roots. So there's like a mental like refresh there.
Yeah.
And like being out in Oregon where it's raining and like kind of sad, you can feel like I'm all alone. No one's here beside me.
Yeah.
But you gotta have. Okay.
Yeah.
But California, he's gonna be on the beach, just be more chill vibes. Like chill vibe. Engles could be a scary. They talk about headband Carmelo.
No, it's hoodie Mello.
Hoodie Mello.
Who's headband?
Headband LeBron.
Headband LeBron. Okay.
Hoodie Mello, headband LeBron.
SoCal Craig. Oh, okay.
We should be worried about SoCal Craig.
See, I like that.
Yeah.
I like you're coming around a little bit here.
Yeah.
Nate says, I think somebody completely fresh will burst onto the scene and completely screw all your predictions up. That is the best point of this entire segment.
Yeah, you know who that is? Ryan Shoppy. Which I don't know if I'm saying his last name correctly or not. It's either Shoppy, or Shop.
You just really want to get his name into this segment.
Yeah. Did he even do well at? What place did he finish?
Maybe he's not even
seventh. He got seventh.
All right, we're going to transition now. College cross country. Conference championships were today. You know what, Gordon? Before we get into each one, I want you just to give me overall, if you were to break you have 60 seconds, maybe you have 30 seconds, what were the biggest takeaways from college conference weekend?
See, this doesn't make any sense because if I give the biggest takeaways now, then they're going to turn off the podcast and be like, I'm done. Why don't we give the takeaways at the conference?
No, because big picture, did anything change is my question. If you don't want to do it, I'll do it.
Big picture.
Am I now the...
Okay.
You want me to be the cross-country
big picture
guy?
things changed.
I'll take over for if you don't want the crown. It's too much pressure.
I don't know if I'm falling under the pressure.
Okay, go ahead.
You take the crown, and then I will battle your crown.
I'll do it on the women's side. How about you do it on the men's?
Okay, fair.
I will show.
Fair.
Okay, listen, guys. NC State could lose. NC State could lose. It was very close today. It was competitive. The team score ended up being very tight at the end. They got great races from Tui and Camille, and it was still very close. So New Mexico's going to be in the mix. Oklahoma State's going to be in the mix. I still think NC State's a favorite, but it is going to be close. And then individually on the women's side, Parker Valby impressed again, beat Mercy Chilangat. I think it's shaping up to be a two-woman race in Stillwater, Valby versus Tui.
Yeah, that's a great thing. I would agree with that. But the problem is now, okay. Yes, you're right. I'll say the men. On the men's side, Stanford.
That was so unnecessary. Start over again. Go ahead.
We're ruining. Was this for eclipse purposes?
No, just go.
My brain's been all over the place this morning and last
You got
night.
it.
Okay?
You got it. Sometimes you got to be able to step out and just look at what changed today.
Yeah, on the men's side, nothing changed.
Okay, great. Let's go into these conference championships.
Because I think Oklahoma State still has a question mark. NAU is still a Hail Mary in my mind. And Stanford and I'm assuming BYU are going to show that, we're as good as
Stanford was good.
Advertise. So.
Yep. Okay, that didn't work. So let's go individual conference by conference. Guys, not everything you plan comes to fruition. And sometimes live on YouTube, it all comes crashing down. Let's start with ACC. Let's go ACC women. I mentioned it at the top. Tui, Camille, go 1-2-4. NC State, but the team race was close, 34-38 over Notre Dame. Gordon, did you expect Notre Dame to be that good?
I did not. Notre Dame's a good team. Don't get me wrong. I have Notre Dame ranked 10th in the nation, so they're a top 10 team, going 4 points behind the team that we think is the overwhelming favorite. Not expected. Now, again, these things happen sometimes in unique scenarios where the fields are different, where, you could beat an athlete by 20 seconds, but you only get 1 point on them, whereas 20 seconds at nationals could be 40 points.
Correct.
So that is a difference. But let's look exactly how NC State did specifically.
Yeah,
compared to NC State
1, 2, 5, 10, 16, 19, and then their 7th was 29. So where Notre Dame made up ground was on the 4th and 5th runners because Notre Dame went 8 and 14, actually better than NC State's 4 and 5 runners who were 10 and 16. You have almost a minute gap right now between Tui and the number 5 for NC State.
So when I look at this, Tui, Camille, and Samantha Bush all ran as expected, in my opinion. They all had good performances. The main performance that we did not expect was 2 things. Sydney Seymour, she's currently ranked 13th in the nation.
Yeah.
She was their 7th runner.
29th place.
Finishing 29th in conference. That was unexpected. So which Seymour are we going to get? Are we going to get this Seymour, ACC Seymour, or are we going to get the Tennessee Seymour who can be All-American?
Yeah.
We don't know. Another thing, Marley Starlipper, back-to-back now races where she is not present. She's a DNS. You think you sit out Nuttycombe, it could be precaution, get a little look at other athletes. You sit out ACCs, that's not precaution anymore. That means you may not be a legitimate factor, and we had her as 34th in the nation.
Yeah.
So, and then Savannah Shaw, how did Shaw do? Was Shaw even in the race?
Shaw was not in there. Nope.
I have her as their next runner. So this is the thing. Nevada Marino, who was their 6th runner, we thought they had this unreal depth. We thought they had they could put 7 in the top 40. They could put 5 in the top 20. Really? They only got 3. They got 3 really good women.
Right now. Yeah.
In Bush, Camille, and Tui. And here's the thing, though. Alabama has 4 really good women.
Yeah.
New Mexico has 4 really good women. So they don't have a good 4th and 5th right now, and I think that is the weakness that NC State has shown, and that's why they only beat Notre Dame by 4 points, is because their 4-5 are not what we thought they were going to be.
Yeah. Steven in the chat says Coach Hennis said multiple times in her post-race interview that multiple girls had bad runs. So, because a team that's deep as NC State, when you can run 10 people in a conference meet, that should be game over.
Yeah.
Because if 5, 6, and 7 have a bad day,
8, 9, 10.
8, 9, 10 might be better than most schools 3, 4, 5. But even you go farther down here and you look at their 8, 9, 10, they were farther back than you would expect them to be as well too. Individually though, Tui is rock solid. She has a teammate in Kelsey Camille, who's a top 5 runner in the nation, and now she's 3 for 3 this year. So Tui is looking great. I think if you told me a month ago, or at the beginning of the season, the problem with NC State women is going to be, can they have a 4 and 5? I'd say, all right, they probably take that problem. Because I think come race day, they're going to be able to figure out that issue. They're going to be able to have somebody who's able to come in and run well on 4 and 5. And if you get 2 in the top 5, and then what do you have Samantha Bush ranked? She looks like a top 20 runner right now as well too. So for 2 in the top 5, 3 in the top 20.
Yeah, Bush ranked 12th.
Yeah. So it's really just scouring your roster and trying to figure out who you can put there for 4 and 5. Not a thing I thought we'd be discussing.
Yeah, this isn't the 2015, 2017 New Mexico teams.
Yeah.
This is going to be a team that's going to need to have a good day on all 5 spots to win.
Credit to Notre Dame, though, for running them tough. Markasic, Thronson, Chisholm, Denner, and Keller. They're top 5. 38 points, just a bit behind. Do you want to go over the men's side real quick on ACCs?
Yeah, nothing too much. I mean, I think I was surprised that Notre Dame did not win.
They got 4th.
They got 4th. I had Notre Dame as the 7th best team in the country. They did not run well. Some of their main guys who have been on, the podium team in 2020 or 2021, whatever, year I'm talking about, the March race.
That was 2021. March.
2021.
Yeah.
They didn't run well. Wake Forest ran really well. Wake Forest is a good team, though. We have them in the top 20. I dropped them from 6th down to 19th because they ran really poorly at Nuttycombe, I believe. This shows all right, they just maybe that was just a bad day. They were able to get a good pack here. But at the end of the day, none of these teams are really going to be any factor to podium, even finish, I think, now in the top 6. There may be one ACC school in the top 10.
Wake Forest, big fall for them. Football, men's cross country, they're crushing it. Their football team's doing really well too.
My mom's best friend's husband is
from Wake Forest.
I think the offensive coordinator of Wake Forest football.
Tim Duncan went to Wake Forest.
Chris Paul went to Wake Forest.
It's another fact.
Didn't Arnold Palmer go to Wake Forest?
Arnold Palmer.
I think he did.
Wake.
I think he did.
Yeah.
Yes. I know my Wake Forest stats.
And it says that your mom's best friend's roommate did too as well. Chris Paul. Way to go. All right. Let's go to SECs. These are not done in any particular order. We'll go women first. Valby, as I mentioned, got the victory over Mercy Chelangat, wins by 12 seconds. So another impressive run for Valby.
8 seconds.
What did I say?
12.
Yes, correct. Let me try that again. Parker Valby beats Mercy Chelangat by 8 seconds to take SECs. Team side of things, Alabama gets the win. They had Chelangat second, Olamomoy third, Taisma fifth, Asacol seventh, and then the big question, when is their fifth going to come in? It was Elka Makan in 19th place. Is that fifth enough for them?
It's not enough to win a national title, no. Because 19th at SECs, that's going to translate to like 200th at nationals.
She was better than Arkansas's fourth. In most years, that would be good enough.
Yeah, but
if your fifth is better than Arkansas's fourth.
Arkansas is not the Arkansas that we're used to.
Yeah.
This is a down year. Arkansas is the 20th best team in the nation.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to be the 20th best team in the nation if you want to be a potential national title contender.
Podium, though.
I think it's 100% podium. They got 4 really good women, and anything can happen with their fifth. I mean, the fact that the Hilda I need to learn that name. Olamomoy is running so well as her first year at Alabama. She's a JUCO transfer. Speaks well for what they're going to have here. They have a good 4, Mercy, Hilda, Amaris, and Flomina. It's good. Spawn's their fifth. It's just like not there.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't think they're going to win. I do think they do, though, have the recipe to podium.
Did their chances go up today, though?
The chances to podium went up.
Valby versus Tui. Do you think those are the top 2 right now on the women's side?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk a little more about Taylor Rowe and Natalie Cook at the Big 12, but Parker Valby's running insane. She beat Mercy Chelangat. Mercy Chelangat's good. And Mercy Chelangat tried. You could argue she's just running it with her team. No, she beat her teammate by 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So Chelangat tried to win this. She separated. She's like, see ya, Hilda, I'm going for the win. And she was 8 seconds short of that. So Parker Valby, I think she's going to be challenging. It's going to be interesting because she hasn't raced Tui yet. So it's going to be this weird first time they see each other. We'll be at nationals. It'll be unknown. But I think Tui's got to be the favorite because of the experience. But man, Valby, the way she's running, what was her 5K split? Her 5K split, I think, was 15:24. Mm-hmm. Now, 5K splits at cross country aren't
I'm not gonna
official.
Get too crazy about
so I don't think she actually ran a 15:24, but 15:20.
So Tui,
it wasn't a 15:24, but that's like insane.
Tui beat Chelangat by 12 seconds when they ran at Joe Piani earlier this year. So they're close.
And you're saying 12 is more than 8, so
Yeah.
you're saying that Tui's going to win by transitive property 4 seconds.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm assuming Chelangat went hard at Notre Dame too.
Yeah.
So I think if you're just using Chelangat as the
standard bearer?
Yeah.
Do you know I used to do that with Cheserek? When I was starting the NCAA cross-country algorithm, Cheserek won every race, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you knew,
distance behind Ches.
Time behind Ches became, the way to compare everyone.
Yeah, it's the constant.
It's the constant.
Yeah. I think Chelangat is, she was my preseason pick to be challenging Tui. I think Valby has passed her as well now, too. So there's not that many people left. You mentioned Rowe before, but I think it's going to come down to these two. And that course at Oklahoma State is so tough, too. That's going to factor in as well, too. Because we obviously saw what happened the last kilometer the last time they had this meet here. How much things changed, how many people completely fell apart. They started getting the piano on the back, going up those hills. So even if it was cut and dry, you still have to leave ample room for an upset because the course is so tough. But I think this is shaping up to where it's going to be one of these two. I still give 2 the edge right now.
Yeah, I agree. Moving over to the men's side, surprisingly, Alabama won.
It's Alabama's day.
Alabama getting the win on both men's and women's side. Kiprop took the win. Tennessee put together a good 2-3 performance by their 2 transfers, Jacobs and Abdallah, transfer from Notre Dame in Texas. And Tennessee, this was the year that, Tennessee's they're going to go from a nobody to a somebody. And, they did something pretty impressive. They tied Arkansas with 64 points, and they win over Arkansas on tiebreaker because their number 1, 2, and 4 runners were better. Arkansas is good. This is a good performance for Tennessee. Very impressed with this. And you see it's so close. Alabama 59, Tennessee 64, Arkansas 64, Ole Miss 65. It's basically like a quad meet out there with those 4. Now, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee, none of them are, in my mind, podium contenders. But I would say these are like 8th to 20th type teams at a national level. So it makes sense that they're all together. But I think one of these teams, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Tennessee, or Alabama, will have a breakout and probably finish top 10. But I don't think more than one. I said only one ACC men's school will be in the top 10. I think also only one SEC school will be in the top 10.
All right, let's go to the Big Sky, where all eyes were on the men's race. I called it a must-win for NAU. You looked at the results midway through, started panicking for NAU. You thought it was all over.
Did.
We go back to the results at the end.
They get 19 points.
They go 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10.
That's good. But here's the thing. Now, the question isn't, we shouldn't be congratulating the 4-time NCAA champions for beating Montana State in Eastern Washington. Like, there should be no, they're back because this is what it should be done. But the problem is, you look at this, Hasty, Kush, and Solomon, who all didn't run that well at Nuttycombe, they run as this is what we thought their top 5 was going to be, right? New Young and Bosley, they're constant. We thought Hasty, George, and Colin would be the 4, 5, 6. I mean, the 3, 4, 5, and that's what they did. But you look at the time back, I don't know. You look at this and you're like, it looks good. Hasty was 45 seconds behind Young.
Yeah, but
George Kush was 50 seconds. Colin Solomon was over a minute behind Nico Young.
But Nico Young also beat Bosley by 26 seconds. Are we sure this wasn't just a Nico Young beast mode move? Like, wouldn't it be more helpful to look at relative to Bosley? Because I think if Bosley is only 17 seconds ahead of Hasty at Nationals, wouldn't you take that?
You're finding a good way to
I don't know, though. Maybe Bosley had a horrible race, but he still got second, and Nico ran where Bosley should have been. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and Duncan Hamilton's good. Duncan Hamilton is an All-American type runner. He ran sub 820 steeple. I don't know.
He only beat Hasty by 9 seconds.
It's a good performance. It could be worse. I mean,
Solomon was certainly better than
Solomon was good.
Wisconsin, right?
There's a lot of ugly taste in my mouth from the Nuttycombe performance where I was looking into it. I was trying to find, did anyone ever run in the 60s to 120s or 150s at Nuttycombe and then go on to finish All-American at Nationals? I couldn't find any.
Wait, how did you do this? How long did this take you?
I was doing a lot of clicking back and forth.
But how do you even start? Did you just go person by person, or did you just look and be like, oh, I think that person got all?
No, it's actually not that hard. You just take the people who finished top 40.
Yeah.
And then you take the Nuttycombe list, and then you find matches, and then you see where their place was.
But you every year? How far back did you go?
I only did 1 year.
Oh, I thought you meant historically.
No, I didn't do historically.
Yeah.
I don't got that time.
Okay.
But I was trying to find.
Not impressed then with what you did.
I mean, this is a good sign for NAU. I'm not sold. I might be sold on NAU if they run very well at Mountain against BYU.
Yeah, but sometimes that can be fool's gold too.
That can be fool's gold, but if NAU puts their 5 in the top 20 at Mountain, I'll feel it.
Okay. Yeah. I just think we can't be swayed too much by this stuff. What's the one race that we know mattered this year?
Nuttycombe.
Yeah. And that's just the nature of the sport. that's where you're gonna.
I mean, it's a good sign though for Hasty to be their like 7th man to now they're number 3. Clearly, that showed that Hasty is not really actually their 7th man. Hasty actually is a lot better.
Well, look here. Pull up. Let's do this. Pull up the Nuttycombe results. I mean, what happens if you go
Ooh,
and you go?
This
off,
is a fun thing.
But go off of Bosley. I mean, we're gonna do the most generous interpretation for NAU.
I love
here.
the way you're thinking here.
So let's put Hasty 17 seconds back of Drew Bosley.
And then we'll rescore the meet.
Well, not have to rescore the meet, but just does that materially change things?
All right, I'll do this, and then let's talk about the next conference.
Well, the women though, but they're still running right now.
They're still running.
Yeah, I want to keep this as one, so we have one segment about this. So I need you just really quickly. You don't need to rescore it. Just tell me how.
No, you got to rescore. Okay, so
what place? No, because you got to move all of them.
How many seconds back was
17? Just to do what? How far back? What was the gap between Bosley and 17 seconds? How many places?
What's 17 plus 17?
34. That was impressive, huh, Colt?
All right, who else do I need to change?
That was quick.
George?
Well, you don't.
Kusha?
Then that's more though.
We'll do that one too. How many seconds back?
26.
What's 17 plus 26?
Uh-oh.
Help me out. You don't know it either.
You don't know?
Do you know it?
You don't know.
What's 17 plus 26?
So you go 26 plus 17,
Yeah.
33, 43.
Okay. 23, 43. All right. And
I
then
could have done this.
who else are we doing? What else are we changing? Give me one more. The 5th guy. Colin Solomon. How far back was he from Hasty? I mean, how far was Colin Solomon back from Brody?
You just took it simple.
How far back was Colin Solomon from Drew Bosley?
38 seconds.
Okay, what's 17 plus 38? We'll keep them the same. We're going to keep that
17:38.
We'll keep that one the same. We'll keep that one the same. All right, so we're rescoring it.
No, all I wanted was just like a general. Yeah, they would have been in the mix.
Yeah, I'm going to rescore it right here.
You just took it too far.
No, I'm taking it the right amount of places. So,
this is not going to be worth it.
No, it's going to be worth it. NAU would have scored. Dun, 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 dun.
Just how far back?
116 points.
And what did they end up? What did they actually score?
145. Okay. So they still would have lost to Stanford, who scored 54.
Okay, but can you? What was the gap between Bosley and their 3rd runner? That's just like basically what I want to know.
It wasn't even the guy.
Who was it? What was the gap between Bosley and number 3? What was the gap between their 2 and 3 runners? That's all I want.
23:17 and 23:37. 20 seconds back.
Okay, so
it was Santiago Prosser. It's 20 seconds back.
Okay, and this is 17 seconds. So this is not. See, that's all you need to do, and then I bet it's not that big of a deal. That's still too big of a gap. To me, that says Bosley underperformed today. Nico didn't run that great. Because what was the gap between Nico and Bosley? Because this was 26 seconds.
23:10 to 23:17. 7 seconds. He was 7 seconds back up.
Yeah. Okay. So forget everything I said.
Did all that math for nothing?
No. Well, not only did you do that math for nothing, the whole rose-colored glasses, looking at the silver lining thing is wrong.
Okay.
This is about, you should not key their performance off of Bosley. I think you should key it off of
Young. That's
Nico,
what I was saying.
And it's too far back. Yeah.
That's what I said in the beginning of the segment, and you try to change it on me.
Well, I'm saying if you did, and that's why I said go look at the result and see what it is, and you want to rescore everything going back to 1907. And I'm just like, we don't need all that.
There's no
data.
cross country there, man. Come on, you should know. Do you know when cross country started?
For men, it was the 40s, right?
Who knows in the chat?
The year the first NCAA cross country championship for men.
You know it?
It's in the 40s.
Name the year. I don't know it.
It's like 48.
I'll say 42.
Well, I don't think.
It's 38.
Oh, I was off.
Indiana, 1938.
Michigan State, I remember, won a bunch. Okay. Women are still running. That segment that we just did was a dud.
That was a great segment.
No, because what I said was
garbage.
Wrong. And as an NAU historian, you should have been like, no, you're wrong. It was Bosley, not running well. Okay, women, Big 12. Kaylee McCabe wins it over Taylor Rowe. Oklahoma State gets the win. They go 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and for good measure, 9. They look solid. Jeb Curry was second for Oklahoma State. She finished 3rd overall. Then Natalie Cook, and then Gabby Henteman. So, is this enough for Oklahoma State, do you think, to close the gap?
Okay, you got to look at that. So they have a good 4. They have a good 3. Their 4 kind of remind me of Alabama's 4, but they have such a better 5th because their 5th was 40 seconds back of their 1, whereas Alabama's 5th was over a minute. Oklahoma State looks good. There's the factor they are going to be on their home course. They're going to know where every nook and cranny of that course is. Taylor Rowe looks good. McCabe running well. I don't know. I just don't see McCabe beating Falby or Tui. So
she'd be an X factor.
She's going to be top 5 for sure. But Oklahoma State, 4 good. I mean, they didn't really beat anyone interesting like Dana Fallion and Madeline Hill of Iowa State and then the other West Virginia people. Yeah, it looks cool that they scored only 22 points, but there really was no competition. So don't look at that score. More look at the spread. And Stephanie Moss, who was their 5th runner here, being only 42 seconds back of Taylor Rowe is a good sign. I like Oklahoma State's chances. The fact that we now know NC State is not what we thought they were with their depth.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State, and we'll talk about New Mexico, are the 2 main people who can take advantage. If they have great days and NC State just has a good day, Oklahoma State could win.
All right, men's side, finally got to see Oklahoma State men in full form, or almost full form.
Almost full.
Mayer and Leonard go 1-2, then Rodriguez and Mesaudi and Shoppy round out the top 5. They go 5, 6, 7. They scored 21. They beat Iowa State, who had 57. What do you think? Do you have enough information on Oklahoma State now?
No, there's still one guy out there, Shea Foster, but maybe he's not on the roster. If he's not running here, I don't expect him to run later. Faoud Mesayodi, he's the freshman. He's a good miler. Him being in the mix and Isai Rodriguez being in the mix looks good. Isai Rodriguez, though, he's not the Isai Rodriguez that we saw finishing top 5 at Nationals because he was their number 3, their 3 runner here. Alex Mayer is going to be the guy who's going to have to finish top 5 for Oklahoma State to have a shot. Yeah. I was surprised Victor Shitsema did not run well. He was 15th. He was in the top 10 at Cowboy Jamboree, and he finished better at Cowboy Jamboree than at this conference meet, which is wild when you look at it that way. So if Shitsema has a better race, put him in the mix. If Isai Rodriguez stays consistent, Roy Leonard, him getting second in this race, they have a lot of guys. They got depth.
Yeah. And if Foster's there.
Yeah. The thing is, okay, basically, they have the same ability to win, but the problem, which we'll get to, Stanford has basically 3 Alex Mayers, and Oklahoma State has 1. Yeah. So that's the main difference.
Yeah.
NAU has two Alex Mayers, Bosley, and Nico Young. Oklahoma State has 1 Alex Mayer.
Yeah.
And Stanford has 3 with Hicks, Sprout,
and BYU has
Robinson. And BYU, I would say, has 3.
3.
They have 3 Alex Mayers. So that's the thing. Oklahoma State,
it all
they only
comes
have
down to how many Alex Mayers you have.
Yeah, that's the factor. How many Alex Mayers you have? Now, here's the thing, though. Oklahoma State's Alex Mayer is the most accurate Alex Mayer because it's actually Alex Mayer.
Yeah.
The other guys are just pretending to be Alex Mayer.
Sure.
Would you rather have 3 fake Alex Mayers or 1 real Alex Mayer? We'll find out.
Well, it depends who's going to run the most like Alex Mayer when it comes to nationals. It may not be Alex Mayer.
And maybe the Alex Mayers that Stanford and NAU and BYU have are the Alex Mayers that finished like 200th at nationals, and not the Alex Mayer who got second at the 10K.
Exactly. You got to know which one's showing up. All right, Big Ten. You called Wisconsin the most
Oklahoma State's good. They can win.
Okay. Big Ten. You called Wisconsin, the most underrated team in NCAA history.
I did.
I believe. I don't know. They won.
Some people are saying that.
Bob Liking gets the win.
Great
Jackson
name.
Sharp second. Basically the same time. They scored 25 points. Michigan 57. Women's side of things, Michigan State by 8 over Michigan. Thoughts on men's or women's race?
Women's race is irrelevant. It's a bunch of 15 to 25 teams, 25th best teams in the country. There's going to be no women's Big Ten team in the top 10.
That's rare.
I'm saying it now. You heard it here first. Men's side, Wisconsin. They're my wild dark horse. Obviously, we're talking about the big four, big four.
Whoa. What's a wild dark horse? Is that different than a regular dark horse?
Yeah.
It's just wild, out of control.
It doesn't follow the rules.
It's untamed.
Sometimes it doesn't know it's a dark horse. Sometimes it's like, we didn't know that.
It's a whole new level of dark horse.
Yeah.
I've never heard
It's
that.
the dark horse of dark horse. It's the darkest of horses.
All the years talking and listening.
Dark stallion,
people
maybe.
Talk about
Yeah, it's a dark stallion.
I've never heard someone call it a wild dark horse. That's incredible. Go ahead.
They're good. Don't take too much about the score. Look again at the spread. Their spread was 34 seconds. At Nationals, that's good. 34-second spread is good. Bob Liking is a top. He's like a 5th to 15th type runner. So you have 34 seconds back from someone finishing in the top 15. That's enough to podium. And look at that. Some of their guys too, like Charlie Wheeler and Jack Mayer were their 5 and 6 men. They're good. They have some good track
I believe
times.
you.
And like Shuaib Ajabali, he was like
Shoaib.
Ajabali. He was like top 3 at junior cross, like in 2019 or 2020.
Yep.
So like that means something.
Yeah.
He's a senior now.
Veteran. He's been around for
He's a vet. I don't know. I just like Wisconsin. I think they're underrated. However, I'm looking back on it. I have said that Wisconsin has been underrated the past like 3 cross country seasons.
Yep.
So
maybe they're not underrated anymore. Maybe you need to start rating them better.
I need to start rating them better.
All right, Pac-12's women's race was a tie between Colorado and Utah. Each was 66 points. Bailey Hertenstein won the race individually. Colorado wins on the tiebreaker. And then the men.
Let's talk about the women first.
Hold on, I just want to throw out the men's. real
Why?
quick.
No, we can talk about the men after we talk about the women.
Stanford gets 22 points. They were Colorado's second, 61. Stanford men go 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. But why don't we start with the women? Go ahead.
Okay. Start with the women. Colorado tying Utah. Again, these are teams that are not really podium contenders, but it's kind of cool to see a tie at a conference championship, and you're like, what could have done? What could have Utah have done differently? And you try to find, was there a spot that Utah could have just beating someone by a point of a second? Utah's, and I found it. I found two segments. This one. Utah's Morgan Jensen ran 1958.2. Washington State's Caroline Jerotich ran 1957.9, so 0.3 seconds. If their 5th or 6th woman was just 0.3 seconds better, they'd be Pac-12 champs. But no, Colorado gets the win. And it'd be so much cooler. I'm gonna be honest. It'd be cooler if Utah won the Pac-12 championships because like we're so used to seeing a Colorado, Oregon, Stanford, or Washington win cross-country titles at Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been nice to see Utah kind of buck the trend. But, Colorado does what they're going to do. And big shout-out to Colorado's Ella Barron. Do you know who Ella Barron is?
She's a transfer.
Do you know from where?
Johns Hopkins.
There we go.
I do my homework. Yeah, but see, you mentioned that Utah runner a few tenths the other way. She falls back a position, too.
Yeah, that's true. But it's just like it was Washington State that gave the win to Colorado because Washington State beat Keela Barger by 0.3 seconds, and Washington State beat Morgan Jensen by 0.3 seconds.
Or we could
So Washington State's clearly on the Colorado payroll.
Or we could do what we're supposed to do with tiebreakers and make it the 6-runner and Utah wins. That's what we could have done. That's another possibility. What about the men's race? I thought it was interesting. I mean, Hicks ran great. I thought it was interesting that Kai Robinson wasn't the third guy. Maybe they all just were running in a pack a little bit, but he finished down there with their 4 and 5 guys.
Yeah, this clearly was we are so much better than everyone. We don't need to freak out about it type run. I mean, Brian Fay finished 8th in this race. They put 5 men in front of Brian Fay. Brian Fay's like a 13.25K guy.
Yeah.
So, like, Stanford is so good. I'm excited to see what they do. I think Stanford is now the overwhelming favorite.
Yeah.
Now, again, they're the overwhelming favorite that can easily lose to 2 other teams, maybe 3 if NAU gets their shit together. But Stanford, there was question marks at who their 4-5 are. Now they have their number 4 runner beating Kai Robinson. Their 5 runner is running with Kai Robinson and Thomas Boyden. they have, and then their 6 runner was right up there as well. So like, there's no big drop off. If they run the way they're able to, there's no one who can outrun them.
I agree.
It's going to be Stanford. Stanford can only lose the title. They can't win it. They can only lose it.
Well, they can win it, but
no, if Stanford just runs as they're supposed to, they're going to win.
They have more room for error than anybody else, I think is what you're trying to say. Hicks can win individually. You know how many Stanford men and women have won the individual title in history?
How many?
0.
Really?
They've never had an individual champion. It's the craziest stat out there in cross country. Never once.
You think that's the craziest stat? Let me tell you about the Ryan Raff stat.
Oh, okay. No, this is crazier. Isn't that weird? All those great athletes, all those years?
Really? None of them have won?
Never won.
No, yeah, because Chris Derrick never won. Ryan Hall, no.
Mm-mm. They've won a bunch of team titles,
Yeah.
so that wouldn't be anything new. But if Hicks or Sprout or Robinson gets it done,
They got
individually-
3 bullets.
Well, I
Go
guess,
for it.
when you're using these results to figure out, okay, did this person run well or was it more a reflection of another person running poorly? I think you look at Robinson and you're like, all right, did he, he's 25 seconds back at Hicks. That's not good. But then you say he beat Fay, who's a 13 teens guy in the 5K. All right, that's still pretty damn good. It might have been a combination of Hicks running well and Robinson being a little bit off of his game because he was, 7 seconds behind Badeau Rousseau. So, and then you finish right with Boyden. But maybe that was I didn't watch the race, so maybe it was strategic for them to stay together.
Big question.
Yes.
Is Flanagan and Schumacher on the hot seat? They come in here.
What do they get? What do they
Third for the women, 4th for the men.
I think they did enough to buy themselves another year.
Okay.
Just enough.
When will 3rd and 4th not cut it anymore? How many years do we give them before, like, hey, it's top 2 or?
Let's just talk about this in the same way you talk about college football or college basketball. Utah should never beat Oregon, right? You take the resources that Utah has, the resources that Oregon have on the women's side, right? Oregon should always win. Now I know it's complicated. How you allocate scholarships is different school by school, but you look at what Oregon has, and you look at what Utah has. They should never lose to them. That's just the reality. On the men's side, the teams are ahead of Oregon, Washington, Colorado, Stanford. That's not anything crazy new. But you're right. The expectation is going to be that they're going to win. But at the very least, you can't fall any farther backwards. Like you can't lose to any of those teams behind you, right? The teams ahead of you are the ones who have traditionally been really strong in cross country on the men's side. Women's side, though, the women were struggling for a while. It's not as if they weren't performing as well as the men were. So the women, I think, would have more time to get up to speed. But once they do get up to speed, they shouldn't be losing to Utah. That's just the reality of it.
Man, it didn't happen because Andrew Kent is in the mix. But if Aaron Benfeld didn't come back for his super 6-year senior, Stanford would have had 5 in the top 6.
Well, and then Oregon's top guy would have been 17th.
Yeah.
Oregon would have been.
They really need Benfeld to kind of bridge the gap to when I'm sure Schumacher's going to have a great recruiting class in 2023.
Let's flip over let's go back really quickly to the Big Sky women's results they were running before we were talking about them. Elise Stearns, Annika Race, Taryn O'Neill go 1-4 for the Lumberjacks, and then they rounded out with 7 and 8. So they look pretty strong. Podium possibility for them too.
Yeah, I haven't been talking about them. They're the Wisconsin of the women. They're my dark horse wild card.
Okay. No, I thought it was dark wild card. No,
Dark Stallions.
Wild Stallions.
Wild dark horse. That's it. All right, 2 more to get to: West Coast and Mountain West. Go ahead.
Oh, it's my turn. We're passing it.
Yeah, I did the first 8 conferences. You can do that.
I've contributed to this podcast.
I feel like I'm carrying you.
Oh, come on.
This should have been me sitting here drinking a lemonade the whole time.
Lemonade?
Yeah, I thought about that.
When's the last time you drank lemonade?
That was not the time for lemonade. Way too late in the year.
Yeah, lemonade.
Maybe at a restaurant at some.
You order lemonade at a restaurant?
Sometimes, yeah. You can get a fountain drink. I don't want that carbonation.
You order lemonade?
No, when I get a fountain drink. No, I do. Sometimes if strawberry lemonade's on there, I'll get strawberry lemonade.
Do you feel like a child when you do that?
That's different. That's a different thing.
What do you think, Cole? Is strawberry lemonade good?
Oh, strawberry lemonade. That's that's the king of beverages. Regular lemonade. I don't know if I respect that very much. But
anything
strawberry, definitely.
King of beverages.
Iced tea makes sense, but a lemonade?
Iced tea's not sweet enough for me, and then sweet tea's too sweet. So
This is what you got. This is.
I like sugar.
Do you know what my hack is? You get the water, ask for lemon,
That's not
lemonade
enough.
with no sugar.
That's not. You're such a health nut. All right, keep going.
All right. Mountain West in Laramie, Wyoming.
Yeah.
I wonder how beautiful that looked. You think this cross country course was beautiful?
I'm not sure. I've never been to Laramie.
But Wyoming's like a beautiful state.
I'm sure there's good parts and not so good parts.
Anyway, New Mexico wins the women. Their spread wasn't crazy. Their spread was a normal spread of, what was their spread? 1, 2, 3, 4. They had a 30-second spread. Mazzy Downey wins it for New Mexico. They go 1, 3, 4, 6, 10. And then 12, 14. So they had some depth. Their number 8 runner finished 17th, Sarah Eckel. So New Mexico's
that
good.
was 9. I think it was 9. I think their 8th was
No,
Verzeghi, wasn't she?
no, Eckel. That's their 7th. You only score 7, bro. She has a score.
Oh, 7. You're right. Yeah. So their 8th was Eckel, who got 17th.
Yeah, and their 9th was
I heard you.
Verster, who got 27.
Okay. Anyway, they didn't get a negative spread. Which
They didn't
is what
get the
I was
negative
looking for.
spread.
What did their spread end up being? 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3.
Not gonna lie, I kind of thought they would run better.
Oh wow, their spread's pretty big actually. 21,
Yeah.
21 and 13.
Did you not just hear me talk for the past 20 seconds?
I was thinking about lemonade, to be honest. Okay. Sorry, go ahead. Start over again.
I'm not going to start over because people.
33.9 second spread. Did you say that?
Yeah, I said that.
Oh man, I just blacked out all of it. That's not good. I should be better at listening. Go ahead.
Mazzy Downey won. I don't know. I thought I would see, go back to the spread. I thought they would have a better spread. I thought that they would have a 10-second. But, because Yasmin Margini, is she good? She might be a newer name. I haven't really heard of Caitlin Mitchum. I have heard of Wyoming finishing 5th, but it's not like a Boise State team that remember the Boise State teams with Ali Ostrander and all them. They're running really well. Colorado State's kind of like a middle of the road team now. I thought they would score better. I know 24 points is good, but I thought they would score 19. So, we'll see. New Mexico, here's the thing. NC State put us the biggest worry. New Mexico made me worry 10% more. Oklahoma State, kind of even. Alabama made me worry 10% more.
Right.
It feels the same and not the same at the same time. I feel like everyone gave me some positives and some negatives. And I think, with all that being said, here's my top 4 for the women.
Let's do West Coast first.
The men are still running.
They're not. They are. They're finishing.
Yeah, so I'm going to do my top 4 women.
No, they're done. Let's just do all the conferences, and then we'll do the rankings. The men are done.
Okay.
BYU, 18 points. Casey Klinger got
See,
the
this
win.
is the run that this is impressive.
What's impressive?
What BYU did. Portland's good. Portland's a top 10 team.
I'm still thinking about New Mexico's spread. Did you bring that up?
Portland's a top 10 team in my opinion.
Okay,
and they just
Klinger,
got smoked.
Garnica
Dang.
go 1, 2. Then BYU goes 4, 5, 6, 7 with Noakes, Thompson, Troutner. Christian Allen was 9th for BYU. So Christian Allen didn't even score for them. That's crazy. So BYU 18, Gonzaga 69, Portland 76. Thoughts?
See, this is a great response to what Stanford did. This is a Stanford-esque type run. Man, this is good.
You know what they should start calling Brandon Garnica?
Oh,
Big Race Brandon.
Big Race Brandon?
Big Race Brandon.
He's not Big Race Brandon though. Did you see what happened to him in Stillwater?
Okay, but
He did not run big.
but Terre Haute.
Terre Haute ran well.
It's like Game 6 Clay. Last year, Game 6 Clay wasn't that good in Game 6, but there's history there. I'm calling him Big Race Brandon.
But is he Alex Mayer? Is he an Alex Mayer?
No, you don't need him to be an Alex Mayer. You need Klinger to be an
Alex
Alex
Mayer,
Mayer,
yeah.
and then everybody else, and you have Big Race Brandon coming up there. I'm calling him that. Just like we
Big
talked.
Race Brandon?
Yeah, just like.
But Brandon Garnica ran that's a Cowboy Jamboree.
That's not a big race.
Yeah,
I
but
hate
it's
to
the
break it to
course
you.
that they're running at. The past 2 races he's run on that course, he's run awful.
So this will be a good This will be a good test, right? If he doesn't run well this year, I will remove the moniker.
Yeah, but I think there's a thing about Brandon Garnica and Stillwater. Like, there's some demons he's going to have to exercise.
That's fine.
Before
I'm still
he
calling
goes
him
on that
Big Race
course
Brandon. Until he fails at it again, I'm calling him Big Race Brandon.
But it's also like
I'll revoke it.
shit race Brandon and Stillwater.
Again, I remember Terre Haute. He came up large.
I remember Stillwater the past 2 times he's run there. He did not come up large.
But did that really matter?
Stillwater? That's where they're running.
No, last time. Did that matter?
Cowboy Jamboree?
Yeah, that doesn't matter. That's not a big race. No matter how many
That
times
was
you
a
say
big
it's
race.
It's not. No. Here, big race, conference, nationals. That's it.
All right, March 2021. That was a big race.
They weren't going to win even if he ran great. When they needed him in Terre Haute to come up large, he came up large. That's when the name
Big Race Brandon was born.
Even though I didn't think of it until now.
2
So
years
I
later? 3 years
apologize.
later?
I was on the broadcast that year. I really could have had some fun with it, but I'm calling him Big Race Brandon from now on. So,
I do think
or 2 more races in
if
his
we get
career.
Big Race Brandon,
Yeah.
BYU wins. If we get Stillwater Brandon, Stanford wins.
We need more nicknames is what I'm saying, and this is my way to
Brandon Garnica
is he the
has
X
the,
factor?
he has the ability to decide all of the results. All 255 athletes will be based on where Brandon Garnica finishes.
He's the new constant. Okay.
But yeah, BYU looks good here, man. Like Christian Allen being their 7th man. Creed and Davin Thompson, the brothers, they're running together. That's great when you have a top 5 guy who also has a twin who's a top 5 guy.
Yeah.
So you get 2 spots for one. Joey Noakes, who is a name that no one knew of, he's continuing to like stay consistent. So it's like one of these things about BYU is Creed, Davin, and Joey Noakes, Creed Thompson, Davin Thompson. Those 3 names, they were new names to this year, and we're wondering like, okay, BYU always has like a new guy come in, and you're like, well, I'm not going to believe the race. You have to prove. You have to do it multiple times before you become an official BYU guy. Like Klinger, Garnica, Christian Allen from Weber State, those are all BYU guys. Noakes, Thompson, and Thompson, we don't know yet. Troutner's a BYU guy because he was a superstar in high school.
Yeah.
So he's there. But like these 3 guys, Noakes, Creed, and Davin, this is now race 3 of them doing it. I see no reason why now they're not going to do it in race 4 at Nationals. So
All right.
BYU versus Stanford is becoming real in my mind. I think I give the edge to Stanford. But before we get into it, we'll do the rankings. Let's do the rankings.
No, let's do the women's race first, and then we'll go back and do the rankings. So women's
You're going to have a hell of a time cutting this up.
West Coast, I'm not going to. I've already said I'm not going to do it anymore. You made this way too difficult. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. BYU, 30 points on the women's side. Frentaway gets the win. San Francisco second, 65. Portland, 77. I guess, BYU women are like a maybe podium, but things need to break.
They're finishing 7th.
Okay.
Or 6th.
Well, a couple things break their way. They could sneak in.
I'll give you 5th at the most. That's my final. That's my last offer.
Okay, but imagine one more thing breaks their way.
Yeah, but no,
Maybe
that's too many breakings.
Okay, give me your top 4 for men and women. You've seen all the
I've
conference
seen
results.
it all. I've absorbed all the information in real time. We'll start with the women. I think I'm tempted to put NAU in there. You know what? I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to put NAU in there. So Alabama's my team that's out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting NAU in 4. In 3. Wait. Yeah, 3, I'm going to go New Mexico. 2, NC State. 1, Oklahoma State. That's Gordon's thoughts on October 28th, which may change after regionals, but I'm going to go OK State, NC State, New Mexico, NAU.
Yeah. NC State's just better at every single runner than Oklahoma State is. If you go 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, 4 versus 4, I think they're better at every runner.
Yeah, but they're 4 or 5 have not
today
done anything.
Today they weren't, but I think they're going to be. So I have NC State 1, I have Oklahoma State 2, I have
New Mexico 3.
New Mexico 3, and I have Alabama 4.
Perfect.
Alabama impressed me today. I thought they ran well.
They did. They impressed me, but their 5th is just so far away.
But their 4 is rock solid. And sometimes when you're talking about,
That's a
we
good
need
point.
to find a 5th, we need to find a 5th, a lot of times your 1 through 4 can be shaky too. No, their 4 is really, really solid, and I think they're going to get something from the 5th.
And I did do a stat. I've done this all the time. Do you know what the most important runner
Fourth. We've talked about this.
Yeah, the most important runner to win a cross-country team is the number 4 runner.
Well, it's not the most important. It's the best indication of which team.
Whoever has the best 4 runner wins nationals.
Number 4 runner, yeah.
It's not whoever has the best 1.
Yeah.
So, and I would say Alabama does have the best number 4 runner.
Well, I guess you'd have to look up your rankings.
Yeah.
I mean, New Mexico's going to have a really good 4. NC State has the potential to have a really good 4. But it's
Oklahoma
one of those
State,
things where it's like you run the race and you look afterwards like, oh, yeah.
Gabby Hederman's Oklahoma State's number 4. She's good.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State, they're on their home course. So that's a thing. That's going to matter. That has to. That's a hard course. It's not just like, oh, yeah, 6K. We're good.
What about men's top 4?
So men's top 4. This is hard. Who do I have?
Well, we had the big 4 of Stanford, Oklahoma State,
Oh, yeah, okay.
NAU, and BYU.
I think I'm going to have to do NAU 4,
Yes.
Oklahoma State 3. I think I'm going to do BYU 2 and Stanford 1.
That's where I'm at, too.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty
But
clearly the pecking order.
Stanford and BYU are very close.
They're closer to themselves than they are to number 3.
Yes.
That's how I feel about it, too. And I think there's a little bit of distance between
And there's a
Oklahoma
separation.
State and 4.
And, yeah, 3 and 4 are separate. I think Oklahoma State's in no man's land.
Yeah. All right. Well, we covered college conference cross country. That was fun.
That was fun,
I
man.
enjoyed it. Come back on Monday for our special Halloween episode. We'll be in a costume. You can be in a costume as well as if you're watching or listening after. Thanks.
And if you send us photos of your Halloween costume, maybe we'll show it.
especially if it's track specific.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tweet them to Colt.
No, just email FloTrack Podcast.
All right,
They
that's
don't know
easy.
Colt's Twitter.
I know. I was trying to promote his Twitter handle.
Someone
but
might find
They'll never find it.
No, people
They'll
might have
never
seen your
find it.
Twitter handle when you show screenshots of tweets.
Okay. Well, if you want us to promote your Twitter handle, Colt, let me know and we can get this going. All right. We got to run. Thanks to Gooder for sponsoring. Remember the website, Gooder, GOODR.com. And the website is gooder.com. $25 active sunglasses for anyone. We'll see you guys on Monday, Halloween. Have a great weekend, everyone.